two other shows that you'll hear about, which are called Beautiful Life, which is a show that Ashton Kutcher is producing for us, scripted, based on the modeling industry. And it's based loosely on his story when he started out in the business as a model. And it's got a lot of high fashion, a lot of modeling. Misha Barton stars in it, Elle Macpherson stars in it, and a lot of other people you'd know. And then we have another show that's coming on mid-season called Life Unexpected, and the best way to describe it is basically Juno meets Gilmore Girls, and that's the young girl's name is Lux. So, and so in closing, I just wanted to talk just very briefly about a couple of things, and then I'd love to take some questions. The four things that I always say to young people who are starting out when they ask me about my career and any advice that I can impart to them. The first one is passion. You have to do something that you feel passionately about, because if you really want to have a career, you have to look at it in the long term. You're going to do this for so many hours every day, for so many weeks every month, for so many months every year, and you need to do something that you're excited about, that you love. And I can tell you that even though I have been in this business for now 30 years, I truly love waking up and going to work every single day. And I think that if I didn't, I couldn't still be doing this. So that's the first advice I give. The second piece of advice is persistence, because you will be rejected a million times. And the best advice my mother ever imparted to me is you pick yourself up, you brush yourself off, and you start all over again. And it happens to me every single day. It happens to me even now, because this business, as every business, is filled with rejection, is filled with disappointment, and you have to keep your goals and you have to keep your dreams very clear in your mind and not let any of the negativity affect you. The third thing is mentoring. It is so important that you find somebody who can serve as a mentor to you in one way or another. I've had several very important mentors along the way, all of whom I am still very close with, all of whom have given me something different that I have been able to use as part of my career. And even more importantly than finding a mentor for you is that when you get to where you can be a mentor to somebody else, to look back and lend a hand and bring somebody else up along beside you, particularly as a woman. Because as much as everybody thinks that there's no glass ceiling, and I believe that glass ceiling is really broken, particularly in the television business, I hear over and over again from women who work in other industries that feel that there still really is a glass ceiling. And I think it is imperative that you're able to go and help the next person coming up. And then the fourth thing, which I talked about a little bit, is balance. It is really important to have hobbies, to have a personal life, and not forget all those things. Because when I was growing up in the business, there were women who felt they only wanted to devote themselves to their career. They didn't care about their personal life. And one day they woke up and the jobs were gone because their career was over, and they were left without a fulfilling personal life. And I always felt that that's something that I never want to have happen to me. So I always made sure that I was able to have, both sides of my life adequately balanced. And so that's really important advice for all of you. And my final little bit of news is last week was a really big week for us, because as you saw, the CW's had so many different magazine covers over the past year. It's been truly overwhelming. Everything from Vogue to W to you name the magazine, and we've had it. But we did not have a People magazine cover until last week. And so that's the end of my little story, which is, here it is, many years later. I never lost sight of my goals and my dreams, but I have my own People magazine cover, which is Chase Crawford as the hottest bachelor, which he is, and a doll, I might add, but somebody who literally barely acted, but when we cast him in Gossip Girl, and now, needless to say, he was just cast as the lead in Footloose, and will be a very big star, and I am very lucky and grateful to have played a role in his career. So I'd love to open up the floor to any questions. questions